everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I had a chance to come out into the garden today. I wanted to share some of the things that I've done. I also want to share with y'all some things that I'm planting now in Zone 7A here in mid-March. I have a couple of things, a couple of crops that have been hardening off. Transparently speaking, hardening off is not a thing for me. I'm very laid back, super hands off usually. So hardening off to me means okay, these crops, they went outside for a couple hours for one day, then a couple hours for the next day, and then I pretty much left them out all day the third day, and then overnight, and whatever ones make it, whatever ones don't. And that is my version of hardening off. Also, it's just easier for me because life does not allow me to harden off my okay, 1 hour today, then 2 hours the next, and 3 hours the next. I really just can't. But if that fits for your lifestyle, that's great. I am not telling you to do it this way. I am not encouraging you to do it this way because it's just what I do. And checking the forecast here in the area for the next 30 days or so, I don't really see it going down to another frost. Our last predicted frost is April the 6th. And I think it's March the 13th. I didn't see anything go below about 40. I think one day had 38, but these are crops that are tolerable for that type of weather and stuff. Let me show y'all what I was doing. Look how bad these seedlings look, y'all. They are terrible. I left them outside to harden off overnight. I came out this morning to go check on them just to see if they, were going to be okay, since I did leave them out all night. And they were completely all over the ground here. I think that one of the stray cats or something knocked it over. They have a tendency to climb over from yard to yard, and I think that this just randomly got knocked over, because I do not believe that it was that windy to where the whole thing would knock over. So I have to pretty much plant them out because I don't feel like fixing them, because I know that eventually I want to plant them out anyway. So the plan is to plant them all out, plant them where they're supposed to be, and hope for the best. This is my first time planting celery from seed. I personally find them to be pretty finicky and kind of overall not a task to grow, but not super easy. I think that I kept them in the cell that they're supposed to be in, but in the event that I didn't, the good thing is that this is a golden boy one, so this is a self-planting. It looks not golden, but it has a yellowy color to it, and I believe that the plain blanc is just standard green. I love the city. You hear dirt bikes and birds at the same time. Okay. Anyway, I think I got these from Home Depot or Lowe's, I believe, before the winter, for sure. I added a fresh layer of compost to each of these, and then I also added a layer of leaves and then another layer of mulch. So I did not add more compost to the soil, but I did amend it with some earthworm castings. I will have to get some granulated fertilizer, which I do not believe I have in these pots. This Hori Hori knife, I got this for Christmas, and I love it because you're able to really break up the soil really good. Pretty much have already done that with these, but I think I'm going to do the golden boy just because it's sitting there with my gloves on. I'm actually going to bring you in so you guys can see the pot. So as I said, this is my first time planting celery. I've never really done it before, not from seed. I have tried to replant celery by putting the bottom of the stem into some water, and the leaves did reform, but I think eventually I planted it too deep because I believe that it started to, oh, there's some fertilizer in here because I see the little beads. I think I planted it too deep because the stem basically rotted in the soil. I don't even really know what I'm doing, but we are winging it, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Just I could use my Hori Hori knife to dig that up. I really don't know if celery minds having its roots disturbed. I guess we'll find out, because I have not a clue. Not a clue. What I'm thinking is I'm going to transplant them all into the containers, and then we'll see which ones pretty much survive, and then thin them out and just do it that way. Since I have an extra seedling right here, this seems pretty strong. That one might do it good. Okay, and then I'm gonna move down to Amir's making a bed right now. Amir's building more raised beds. I have this Smart Grower Supercharge. Got this on TikTok Shop, and so you can also look at it in my showcase. Saying essentially you put it in a planting hole for soil. So I'm gonna try to put this in some of the planting holes that I put this celery in, and see if it makes a difference as far as growth. So I'm gonna just put just do a few holes. I really love this thing. This thing is just outstanding. I really can use it for so much. You're supposed to I don't wanna do too much. But you're supposed to put it directly to the root and allow the root to have contact with the soil. Oh, I think that's a lot, but we'll find out. Let's try to get the strongest ones out of here. Oopsies. Making sure it has contact with the root. And let's pop it in. I think it's supposed to be raining tonight for sure, but then it's also supposed to rain tomorrow. So I'm hoping that the nitrogen boost from the rainwater will also give it a chance to establish itself over the next few days. In my research, it says celery are heavy feeders, as in terms of, I think, both nutrient need and water. So that's why I'm planting them also close by the house, so that way I don't have to lug too much water. It'll be easier for me to keep up with watering this if it's close to my door. I know myself. So, and I am going to mulch the top as well, like do a light layer of a thin layer of mulch, just to kind of keep things in place and prevent things from digging. I'm just adding some more here and there. The sad thing is that celery is a little finicky to grow for me, and so growing these was hard enough. So I'm really trying to make sure that they grow well, honestly, because I really don't want to have to deal with the task of reseeding them. I'm just going to overplant them and just hope that at least some will survive. May the best celery win. I'm just trying to be careful about placement so that way I don't crush the seedlings with the chips. I wish I had a straw mulch. I'll have to try that. But also the mulch is really good at keeping the cats out. That's a big problem for me, trying to keep the stray cats out of my stuff. Digging and just so much as walking, knocking over my seedlings. The list goes on. All of the celery has been planted, so I'm actually very, very excited about that. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that they continue to grow beautifully. And I'm actually especially hopeful for the ones that I did the supercharge for, because some of them had pretty good roots. The next thing on the list to figure out what to plant or figure out where to plant them will be these Georgia Southern collards. I have such a problem with these Georgia Southern collards. I have tried and tried and tried to get these to grow. This is not the first time that these have even fallen. These have fallen inside, I think twice, and now they've fallen outside, which is insane. According to my garden plan, I need three collard green plants to really round out the things that I want. And I think I have three. I think I can make three out of these. There are two in particular that are growing actually fairly pretty well, so I think they'll do okay. We'll see. So it's just a matter of about figuring out where to plant them, because I've already changed up these here. These were not supposed to be there. This was supposed to be lettuce and radish. I've changed my mind since then, and I have now put the lettuce in the Dollar Tree vertical towers. You can find them at Dollar Tree. I believe they're still like, they have different sizes and stuff now. They come in different colors, and I do have hopes to change out this stake and make it taller so that way I can add more to it. But these are really, really good for just pretty much anything. I do have plans to put my other herbs and stuff here. I started to fertilize them recently. I started fertilizing them like 2-ish weeks ago, or maybe this is just the first week. I don't know. But I did fertilize these both already. And I'm going to continue to do so, and then hope that I see some greenery forming soon from some of them. If not, it's okay, but they are perennial herbs, so I think that they should come back. And these are all of my winter sowing jugs, actually starting to grow really well. These are my poppies, my hyssop, nothing in the echinacea so far, nothing in the garlic chives, nothing in the sweet pea. These are sage, nothing in those, nothing in the cosmos, but the bachelor button is growing really good. I don't know if you can see that. Nothing in the lavender, but I think the calendula is starting. So yeah, those are my winter sowing jugs so far. And I don't know if you saw these earlier when I was planting the celery, and you were probably like, girl, why is this Eggo thing here? I reuse everything. Am I worried about the dye? Potentially. But that was the only cardboard that I had at the time, so that's just what we used. I direct sowed the Parisian carrots. They're like the small nubby looking carrots, and then I also did a kaleidoscope blend, which is like a bunch of different colors and stuff. I had to get carrots last year. They grew perfectly fine, so that's why I'm sticking with the cardboard method. I didn't have a problem getting them to grow. I just had a problem with getting them to form. I feel like if I direct sow some radish there, by the time they grow up, I'll be able to pull them, and that should thin out some of my carrots that are growing, if they're growing by then. We'll see. I'm going to try it out. It makes sense to me, because the problem that I had with the carrots last time, they were way too tiny. I'll have to see if I have pictures and videos and stuff, but when I pulled the carrots, they grew fine. Like they were very lengthy, and even the top part, like the base of the stem, was very thick, and so it made it seem like it might be an actual carrot, but then you pull it and that's it. So I don't know if it just was a matter of me not watering them. I was looking into it. Some gardeners like clip the tops because it is a root vegetable, so they say by clipping the tops it helps the root to develop. Might try that. I also am going to try to just stay on top of watering and all that, because I did let them dry out quite a bit. Ignore this mess. I cleaned up earlier, and so it still looks messy, which is crazy, but it looks way better than it did before, trust me. Anyway, this part of the backyard gets a lot of morning sun, afternoon shade, and so it got really hot here really fast last season, and I feel like it's going to be the same situation this season. So I'm just doing the same thing that I did last time, because it worked out well for me. I'm going to go find some seeds so that way I can direct sow some radish. I don't know how we went from talking about collard greens to carrots. I have really bad ADHD. Like it's getting concerning. Okay, I have this champion radish here. I'm gonna poke a couple holes, not too many. I'm gonna plant 2 in each hole. As you can see, that seed packet was 59 cents. But I believe I got it actually from like one of those liquidator stores. They were selling a bunch of them in a pack. So I have a bunch of seeds, different varieties of some of the same varieties. So like I have like 3 different seed packets of the champion radish and so on and so forth. But it also gave me a bunch of different cool varieties. So I'm all for it. I'm gonna keep it covered. And I'm gonna put them in here too. As I said, it's gonna rain later. So now is the perfect time to direct sow a bunch of stuff. So that way you don't have to run up your water bill and you can just enjoy Mother Nature. Seriously. It has been so nice here. For the past couple of days, it's been pretty warm, honestly. Today was the warmest it's been in like a week. It was, I think, 70 today. I'm gonna cover it, but I'm just gonna keep checking it, check it every other day or so, make sure that the radish aren't germinating. Once they do germinate, and if I see that they are germinating, if they do, I'll just take off the cardboard and I'll just leave it out and just make sure that I keep it well watered. Another thing planted. Very exciting stuff. Oh, also another thing that I've been fertilizing is the mint because that's also a perennial herb. So I have been refreshing my mint, fertilizing my mint in hopes that I will get some growth on it. And if I'm not mistaken, there are some green bits. I lied. I lied. But nonetheless, I've been fertilizing my mint as well in hopes that it'll come up. It should. I have faith in it. Let me figure out where to plant these collard greens. I was thinking about putting them in this 2x2 bed because that is one of the things that I really don't have anything like set up for it for. Collard greens are pretty like heat and cold tolerant, and so I feel like they'll do pretty good in this area because this is one of my best areas for like growth, because this part of the garden does get a good amount of sun. Last season I had squash in here, didn't get any actually out of it. I don't know, I feel like I'm just gonna get rid of this top layer. They go to the bathroom and then they like bury it. That's the thing, the cats, like, and I don't really want to put, like, if I had a fruiting vegetable of some sort, I feel like I wouldn't have a problem. But there's a lot in here now that I'm like really going through it. Yeah, we're gonna have to, I don't know, we might have to like not dig it up, but yeah, like this is poop right here. You know, I feel like the cats in the area is just really bad. Like there's so much open space, and I feel like they've kind of used this as a litter box, essentially. Like, and that's really irritating and annoying. They've pretty much been using this as like a litter box, and that's super frustrating because I don't want to put any plant. Like I know that it's soil, but like I feel like, I don't know. I feel like cats are one of those, like if it was like a chicken or like a goat or like a cow, but like I think they'll be okay. Like I see those type of manures in the garden all the time, like in the garden centers and stuff, but I don't ever see cat manure because I think they have like, they could have like feces and stuff or like certain bacteria or something. So I really don't know what to do with this bed, and so basically we're not going to use it for now. I'm going to have to like do my research and see if there's something that I can do about it. I think that that's a thing. Like you could sterilize it, because I don't want to waste it. It's not bad soil, but I feel like by boiling it, I will also be getting rid of all the actual nutrients inside of the soil. I have to do my research. If you know anything about this, or if you've experienced anything like with stray cats in this whole situation, like please help me out here because I struggle so bad with them. Like it's kind of ridiculous. I didn't have this problem up until this this fall. Like I didn't even have this trouble over the summer when in the thick of me like planting and having all these, like I didn't have any problems. I didn't have any pests. I didn't have any critters. I didn't have anything. And then it's like as soon as fall hit, I don't know, like they just started to help themselves. Long story short, we're gonna leave this bed alone. I'm just gonna nix that for now, and we're gonna find a different place or a home for my Georgia Southern collard greens, and I'm thinking they'll just have to be in a grow bag. So I have these smaller grow bags here that are surrounding this bed that I might be able to use. I'm actually not going to even use this glove anymore because this is contaminated, if you ask me. So let's grab a different glove. Let's grab the hori hori knife and break up the soil and see what we can do. This is another grow bag that I composted in the fall. Like topped it off with compost and then mulched it. And so I'm not going to, again, add any more compost. I'm just going to add a little bit of earthworm castings. And yeah, I'm going to plant my Georgia Southerns. Let me grab the other grow bag and I'm going to plant them in here and then mulch them at the end. These, I believe, I got them from TikTok Shop. This is why I love and hate TikTok sometimes, because I thought that it was a really good deal. I think it was like 5 grow bags for like $5. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that sounds great. And so I bought them quick, fast, and in a hurry, just for them to be way smaller than the 5 gallons, in my opinion. So this is what they call a 5-gallon grow bag. But this is a 5-gallon grow bag that I had already had in the garden. So basically, they lied. So I'm going to use these smaller ones for the Georgia Southerns because I feel like it would be a good size for them. They'd be able to grow big enough. I'm going to say it's probably, in my opinion, is closer to a 3-gallon. So I just use my knife to break up my soil. As I said, Georgia Southern collard greens are like frost and heat tolerant. So they can tolerate some warm weather if you have really super warm weather, but they can also tolerate cool weather. This is a weed, so let's take that out. You can definitely find this hori hori as well on Amazon. This is like the best tool ever. I saw a content creator use it. I think it was Asia at Yellow Door Urban Homestead. She's a creator I watch. I love her videos. But she had a hori hori knife, and then I had seen other creators use it as well, and I never had it. But it was something that I added to my Christmas list, and so I got one. The nitrogen boost. You can ask me how much. I wouldn't be able to tell you. And I'm actually not going to water these in as well because I'm hoping that God will do it for me. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. We are going to do the same experiment with our collard greens. And we are going to have one with the mycorrhizae, one without. And we'll compare the two as they grow. So I'm going to make my trench. I think I'm going to lightly mulch these as well. You don't really have to, but I am going to, for the simple fact that I have found that the cats in the area don't mess with it as much if there's mulch in it. They don't really like rough surfaces to go. Number 2. I did need 3. I do have space for another one, but I don't think they're gonna make it because they don't even have their true leaves yet. So I'm not gonna bother with it. 2 should be fine. Get our fine mulch and put it back. This mulch is free mulch that I got from the city. Well, some of it is leaves, but the bark parts are mulch that I got from the city. They have a free composting program, and so the majority of my compost is also local. It's a free resource that they offer, and you can get up to 30 gallons of free compost, mulch, and soil every week from the recycling center. And yeah, it's pretty darn cool. I have not had any major issues or anything yet. I've heard when I first shared it with some people, they had mentioned about theirs not being like clean or like them having to clean it or something. And like I do sometimes find like little finely shredded like pieces of plastic or something. Um, so I guess they're right. But I just like pick them out. You can also like screen it. If you have like extra chicken wire or a strainer, you can, screen it and sift it. I think that's what they call it. You can sift it and get all of that other stuff out. I just kind of pick it as I see it. Usually it's not that big of a problem. And that should keep everything in and keep it going, hopefully. I'm going to put the collard greens over here with the rest of the greens that I have going. So I got one here, there, and I'll put them next to each other. So now we know. And I'm saying it here too, so also I'll remember because I don't have a pen and paper with me. But the one that has bigger leaves, the one that's bigger, is the one that I did not put the Ricordzi bacteria in. The one that is a little bit smaller is the one that I gave the booster to. Just for future reference, because we're going to keep comparing them down the line. Starting to get super windy here, like even my camera's shaking. So here are some of the onions that I need to plant. Here are the red burgundy onions. These have been struggling indoors. I'm hoping that they fare a little bit better outdoors. If not, I'll still use them for like green onions. I'll still use the tops and collect them. But they look like they're already developing different layers and stuff. I see different leaves and things forming. I haven't cut them in a while because I knew I was going to be planting them out soon, but I am trying to stay on top of fertilizing them, as I should. Look, the birds are talking. They're telling us to hurry up. I think Texas grano onions as well. We'll be able to tell along the line because one will be red and one will not. But then these are, I think this is just a bunching onion. I don't even think I'm going to bother planting that. I might, I don't know. We'll see. This is also my first time planting onion from seed. So that's a little concerning. I love trying new things though in the garden. It's my favorite thing to do. Okay, all right. Planted some Swiss chard in here earlier today. This had been growing in my house. I think I started it over winter, and I think it's just been hanging out in the grow tent. I am going to put some onions on the perimeter of it just to deter from any pests or anything that may be trying to eat it, bite it. I'm just going to like put holes all around the perimeter with my fingers. And that's where we'll plant our onions. So we have the red burgundy. Excuse me. So unladylike. What I do know about onions is that their roots are pretty much indestructible. And so you are able to plant them. You can mess with their roots. You can be a little bit rough with them. You don't have to treat them oh so carefully like you think you do. I'm going to actually skip that one because I feel like I have that one spaced out too closely. Oops, this one comes out next. And let's see, I got some beets in here, parsnips here, peas here, carrots here. I'll just like pop it here. Okay, and then one more. So now we'll have the Georgia Southerns, and we'll also have some onion in it. So hopefully that'll act as like a pest deterrent to it as it grows through the season. They'll grow together. We've been super productive today, and I'm getting pretty tired. I'm trying to think. Let me look and see what else needs to be planted out. It looks like the only two things I have left are cilantro and oregano. This lemon balm I'm not planting out. It just came out for a little hardening off action. I'll have to find a home for that. But this is the oregano as well. I've been fertilizing this too. And I also have parsley in this little bed here, so that way it'll try to come back. I don't know why this is here. Ignore the little C. I used to sit on it actually. Let's sit on it because I get tired. This one seems to be pretty okay. So I'm going to leave that out here. It likes to be out here, so we'll leave that out here. This is the one that fell and the one that I'm a little concerned about. I do have some cilantro that needs to be planted, and I do enjoy cilantro. Last season, the basil was in here. I did the same thing here. I added mulch and leaves and stuff. It's going to be delicious soil. I'm just going to add some of this cilantro here. Oh, I love cilantro so much. It smells literally like amazingness. I'm going to plant these all together. Like I'm going to put it in a bunch. I'm going to put that here. Same deal. Pretty much going to plant it all together. And like in a bunch. Like I'm going to plant it literally just like this. I have them here. I'm going to plant this whole thing at the bottom. Pop that in the hole. Oh, look like the sun is trying to come out. Hopefully not hopefully, because if it does, I was gonna say hopefully, hopefully it doesn't rain, but I'm like hopefully it does, because I just planted all of these plants. I need somebody to water these plants. Place the mulch back around. Okay, the parsley might come back. I don't think the parsley's coming back. I just pulled it out, so I don't think that's coming back. Let's just plant this oregano. We're just going to plant it on the other side of this one. I don't think I'm going to plant the basil here this time. It was here last season, but I'm not going to do that only because it grew into like a massive tree. And I feel like it caused this to become very root bound very quickly because I had two different plants in here and I had other things. So there we go. Just like that, we planted our oregano. And that'll spread and hopefully do pretty good. So we have oregano on either side, some cilantro in the middle. I should direct sow some cilantro, but I'm not. Ooh, and I have a bunching onion that I probably could plant, so might as well. And that's it. I think that pretty much concludes today's garden things. I think that pretty much is everything. I'm kind of burnt. And I'm only burnt because I was out here way before I even picked up the camera. But I really hope that y'all guys had so much fun planting with me. It was nice to bring you guys along and kind of get you guys to see a little bit into my garden and the things that I'm dealing with. I hope that you were inspired by some of the things that I planted, and I hope that inspired you to get outside and get planting, because now is the perfect time to start planting out if you're in zone 7A like me. It's time to get out there, time to put those seeds in some soil. It's time to start growing some things because spring is literally on the horizon. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Leave a comment if you have any questions or if you want to send me anything. If you're not following me already, follow me on my social media platforms. I'm not on Instagram at the moment, but I am on TikTok. So be sure to find me at Garden with Nani on TikTok. And yeah, see y'all next time.